Hello everyone, welcome to Savi video channel. In this video we will be going to learn about OFDMA and single channel FDMA. I am your course instructor Professor S. Manjunathachari, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, Sai Vidya Institute of Technology, Bangalore. The contents of this video is OFDMA and single carrier FDMA. Before learning this, we will see the basics of OFDM with FDMA, OFDM in TDMA, OFDM with CDMA. Before going into the topic about OFDM, we will see the multiple access strategies used in cellular communication first. In the first generation, it is denoted as 1G. We are used the technology called as an AMPS, whereas here the FDMA technique is used for communication. Second generation denoted as 2G. Here GSM technology or IS-54 technology is used. Here TDMA or CDMA used for cellular communication. Moving on to third generation, that is 3G. Here UMTS, the technology used. WCDMA used for cellular communication. Whereas moving on to the fourth generation or 4G, what we are generally using today, day-to-day life, that is LTE. We denote it like that. OFDMA for downlink, single carrier, FDMA for uplink. Yes, this is what we will be going to learn in this few slides or after few slides. Yes, moving on, multiple access for OFDM systems, how it is going to use. As we know, OFDM has a wide band of acceptance for a wireless communication for all the types of modulation schemes. Here OFDM divides wide band of frequency into selective channel into narrow band flat fading subchannels. Here the subchannels can be allocated among different users to provide multiple access. Yes, few of the techniques are called as an adaptive techniques in the subchannels for the increase of spectral efficiency in wireless system. The main advantage of OFDM, as we know, there is a flexibility in combining adaptive modulation and multiple access techniques. Yes, moving on to multiple access overview. Yes, as we know, the multiple access strategies are typically to attempt for non-interference and to know the communication channels which are active base station subscriber link. Is commonly available or used multiple strategies or accesses are frequency division multiple access, time division multiple access, orthogonal coded division multiple access, or in abbreviations we can call it as an FDMA, TDMA and CDMA. First, moving on to frequency division multiple access. Here in this technology, each user receives an unique frequency or carrier frequency and bandwidth, and this type of technology used in first generation of cellular communication. Moving on to time division multiple access, here each user gives an unique time slot or either on demand or on fixed rotation for providing a service or to get a service. Moving on to coded division multiple access, here the system allows each user to share both bandwidth and time slot with many other users. Yes, here all the three multiple access will have theoretically same capacity in adding up of noise channels. Yes, in the last slide we have seen about the basic of FDMA, TDMA and CDMA, that is multiple access. Yes, now we will see the what are the limitations of these three basic multiple access. Yes, These are the bandwidths are less and interference is limited in these systems, and orthogonally it is not possible to implement for dense wireless systems, and this type of techniques are guarantee orthogonality between users in the same cell, but it is very difficult to implement for huge cells, and different multiple axis techniques have different delay characteristics and so may be appropriate for different types of data. Moving on to the conclusion, the above limitations of conventional multiple axis can be mitigated by the principle of OFDMA. Moving on to frequency division multiple axis, that is OFDM with respect to FDMA. Here you can observe in this diagram, yes, up to these three blocks user 1 is dedicated. It is done in OFDM in time division, and over here you can see user 2 is allocated, here user 3 is allocated, and in OFDMA like this we can do it. This block of data can be used by user 1 and this block can be used by the user 2, and these blocks can be used by other users. So this can be also represented like this in the left diagrams. You can see in the right diagrams the same thing is represented like this. Yes, here user 1, the complete channel with respect to this or subcarriers is dedicated for user 1, user 2 and user 3. None of the other users can use these lines. Whereas moving on to this one, here this set of frequency is completely for user 1, here set of users, here there is a set of another user. Here it is combination of FDMA with TDMA, that is given as an OFDM in FDMA. Yes, we will understand in simple way how the FDMA works in OFDM by taking a small example. The example is a 64 subcarrier OFDM system. Here this 64 subcarrier OFDM system is splitted or divided into subcarriers of 1 to 16, and next one is 7 to 32, 32 to 48 and 49 to 64. This each subcarriers, that is 1 to 16 is taken by user 1, 17 to 32 by user 2, 33 to 48 by user 3, 49 to 64 by user 4 respectively. Whereas in FDMA each and every user can use only that subscriber or subcarriers. It can't share with any other users. Whereas in FDMA of OFDM, here what happens, whenever there is an issues with 1 to 16 of user 1, user 1 cannot be used, the same subcarriers is allocated, then it can be used for other, or it can use the other subcarriers of different users, and same vice versa. If the any issues with the user 3 of channels 32 to 48, if there is any issues, the user 3 can use the subcarriers of 1 to 16 when they are in ideal mode. So that is called as a FDMA in OFDM. Next, moving on to TDMA in OFDM, or time division multiple axis. Here each user will be given a subcarrier of the system in a particular symbol duration, or in a given time slot the subcarriers can be used for a particular user. Here we will be having adaptive loading can be performed for on all the subscribers. As you can see here, these are the different subscribers. Here time slot is given. In that particular time slot the users should be used. Because of this there is an less activity, because it will be in ideal condition when there is no other users are using. So user 1 will be ideal when the other users are using. So because of this, the power consumption is reduced because of less activity, and degradation of performance will be occurred because of delay constraints. To overcome this, we will be using a packet based system like LTE can employ. As you can observe here, by using combination of FDMA and TDMA, we can achieve like this. So there will be a much performance increased in static FDMA. The next multiple axis is code division multiple axis, or I can say it as an MCCDMA or OFDM CDMA. Here the users will have spread over several subcarriers and OFDM symbol using spreading codes and combined with the signals from other users. Here we will be having hybrid access schemes to benefit the OFDM symbols. Here OFDM provides a simplest method to overcome the ISI effect and multipath frequency in selective channel, whereas CDMA provides frequency diversity and multiple user access scheme. Because of these two, we are achieving a high efficiency, and because of these two, the users can transmit over the same subcarriers, and it will have an high data rates for an larger values, and by using spread spectrum we can achieve this one, but it is still under the process. And here this is also called as a multi-carrier CDMA. In the last few slides we have learned about the different multiple axes. Now we will see the advantages and disadvantages of all the multiple axis scheme. First, moving on to OFDM TDMA. The advantages are simple implementation and it has a very much high flexibility, whereas the frequency reuse factor should be greater than 3. In a cell sector we should have a reuse factor is greater than or equals to 3. And moving on to OFDM FDMA, here power saving, simple resource allocation, your power also saved and simple resource allocation is done and is easiest to implement comparatively OFDM TDMA, whereas disadvantages are relatively high latency, high frequency reuse factor should be greater than or equals to 3, and lowest flexibility. There is a major issue with the flexibility and latency and reuse factor. And moving on to OFDM CDMA, which has a more advantages comparatively other two, that is spectral efficiency, frequency diversity, and MAI and ICI interference resistance. Frequency reuse factor can be 1 and highest flexibility, whereas the disadvantage is requirement of power control and implementation of complexity. It is very much complex to implement because here it is using both OFDM and CDMA techniques. Thank you for watching this video.